Got it.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Reverend Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited because I have Karissa, Adkins, health and fitness coach, and she is a 365 daily hustle boss babe. And before the interview today, we were actually talking, and I was talking about how many people consider themselves queens and divas. And I said, I have a little bit of a hard time with that. But I think I can really see myself as a boss babe.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is Expert Profiles, conversations with influencers and innovators. And just to let you know, Karissa actually has been featured in Expert Profiles, the book, and you could actually get a copy of her book. So at some point during our conversation, I'll ask you, how can people get a hold of you and get an autographed copy of your book? Because I know you do that too, don't you, Karissa?
I do, yes.
Let me just give you a little bit of background. Of course, she is a certified life, health, and fitness coach, and she personalizes coaching to help women literally boss up and, more than anything, get healthy. And when she talks about getting healthy, it's not just about the physical, but it's the mental, it's the spiritual, it's the whole person. And I think that's really important. As you listen to this show, make sure you get a pen and paper, or make sure you record it, or it is recorded, but listen to it and really listen for the golden nuggets that she's going to share with you. So she helps everybody. Again, when you talk about weight release, that means you're going to melt that fat and get healthy and become strong in all ways. So Karissa is also an international speaker. She's been on some television shows, and she's been featured literally all over the planet. And she was even, I think you're on a magazine cover coming up, right?
I am. I'm so excited. Yes. Let's see. It should be coming middle of August or September issue of To Inspire magazine.
Okay, To Inspire magazine. And I know that you went almost all the way in another big fitness, I guess it was a contest where you were competing for around the world, again, with people in this big magazine
Yes.
contest, and you went quite high in the rankings, because I remember everybody was voting, and you made it, I think, almost to the end of that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
That. So let's start so everybody can get a little bit of a handle on where, I mean, obviously you can see where you are now, because you're gorgeous. Aww. But tell me about a time when maybe you were at a crossroads at your life and maybe you had this epiphany.
Yeah. Oh, well, I feel like I'm always bossing up, and 11 years ago, I bossed up quite a bit. If you have to just, I'm going to take you back. So 2011, I was in a pretty dark space, right, on the inside and physically. I struggled with finding true happiness and balance and self-love. And I always got really good at wearing the mask of everyone thinks that I'm happy, and I'm really not. I don't know if anyone can relate out there to where you're like, it's exhausting wearing that mask or that hat, whatever you want to call it. But I wore it so well that no one would have ever known. In fact, I always covered my body so well too. I dressed so that people couldn't see the real weight that was under there. I was just very good at masking what my real reality was. So my weight got out of control, and my weight got out of control because of a couple of different things. I was always stressing out. I was never putting myself first, in a sense of I was being a mom, I was a wife, we were stationed overseas. I was trying to be the best daughter, the sister, everyone to every, like everything to everyone except for myself. So I really wasn't even paying attention to me. And another reason why I, allowed my weight to get so out of control was that my eating habits, my workout habits were like non-existent. Like, in fact, I had such a terrible relationship with food. Food was my coping mechanism to all of the stress and the childhood trauma and the abusive relationships that I've experienced. And there I was in 2011. I went into a doctor's appointment for my daughter. It wasn't even for me. So there we were for her. And the doctor looked at me like square in the eye, Tammy, and she said, Karissa, you're 5 foot tall, you're 213 pounds. If you don't change your life today, you might not be around for that little girl in 10 or 15 years. I mean, that was huge for me to hear. She was like, you're considered obese. And I was like, what? Like, I am not obese. Are you kidding me? I was 26 years old at the time. And I was like, that is not me. In fact, I was angry at her. I was so mad. I was like hiding these tears from rolling down my face. And I just stormed out of that office. And I remember having a whole conversation in the car, because the old me used to play the victim role very, very well. I was like, woe is me. Everyone feels sorry for me. I have baby weight and blah, 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 like everybody else out there. But that whole conversation was, how dare her be so honest with me? Like, how dare this doctor tell me that I'm obese and I'm not, and just defending my weight in a sense. And that rock bottom moment led me to the real epiphany, though. So I always say this moment really came in a pack of two. So I got home mad. My makeup was off because I was crying, of course, for 20 minutes, bawling. And I smoked about a pack of cigarettes that night, drank 2 bottles of wine, and fell asleep, and hoped to God that the next day I was not going to feel as crappy as I did in that moment. But when you have a life-changing moment in a doctor's office, it really doesn't happen that way. I woke up and I felt just as kind of bad. I wasn't as sad because I had kind of, I felt through those emotions. I probably ate through them as well. But I woke up, I walked my son to the bus stop, and I got home. And I sat on the couch, and for the first time in my entire life, I looked over at a picture of my mom. And for the first time, I saw myself as her. And I don't think I would have saw myself as her had I not had that rock bottom, embarrassing moment at the doctor's office. But what I saw is a 320-pound woman, right? My mom was obese my entire life. I saw a stressed out mom. I saw a mom who gave everything to her career. Like, literally, her business was her baby. We felt very much like second place, even though she was like the best mom ever, right? Like, I looked up to her. She taught me so many things. She taught me how to hustle and to work hard. But I never once saw what she was really teaching all through the years was unhealthy habits. And in that moment, I saw myself as her, and I saw myself getting sick, right? My mom battled cancer and diabetes, and the lack of energy that she had, that I had to help take care of my own mom, right? And she was young. She was not even in her 50s at that time. And that is where I imagined my little girl having to take care of me by the time I was 50. And that was just not something that I wanted. I didn't want that for her. I didn't want that for me. And so, yeah, that epiphany was pretty much like the slap across the face. It was like, the doctor is right. I guess I'm going to have to, like, step up and take responsibility and change my life. And at first I felt very overwhelmed with all the stuff that I should be doing and that I could be doing, all that stuff that lives inside of our heads and in between our ears. I got so stuck in that. And then I just thought, no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to like get so stressed that you're going to go and eat and then just try and numb out that pain. No, you're going to sit down, you're going to make a plan, and you're going to do something about your life. And that was the moment that changed my life forever.
That's interesting, because you said, obviously, after you went through all of the emotional stuff and like you said, the blaming and actually the smoking and the drinking and the eating is like, again, many people I think can relate with you, because eating is the one thing that you have to do in order to live, but it's so easy to just make wrong choices that make you feel better. Like my go-to ice cream, cold, creamy, sweet. And it's interesting because most of the time it doesn't even taste good.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you're eating like vanilla ice cream, I mean, seriously, it
Yeah.
doesn't really even taste that good after the first bite of it. But it does calm you down because it's cold and creamy.
You're
and
numbing out, right? You're filling a void with food.
Yes.
And you're not even being mindful and present in that. I mean, I would eat 2 or 3 plates full of food, you know, and I'm like, I'm already stuck. Like, I'm to the point of like, oh my gosh. And I'm still eating, trying to fill some sort of happiness and emotion that I don't want to fill with food instead.
It is. It's like this bottomless pit of, I guess, of pain. But you said something that really caught my attention, and that was that you made a plan. And again, many people, you know, the best made plans, you know, go astray. But now here it is 11 years later. So what was the plan that you ended up doing that actually worked?
Yeah. The plan that saved my life was I literally wrote down all those shoulds and those coulds. I got what was in my head stressing me out, and I put it on paper. And I just started jibbling. I was like, I could be drinking more water. I could be exercising. I could be eating, you know, chicken. Like, it didn't matter. It was pretty much like what I believed to be true that was going to help me at the time. And then I looked at the list, and the plan really, I mean, I was like, whew, that's a lot. I have options here. And then I looked at the list and I was like, well, what are the 2 things that would really make the biggest difference? Really, like right now, that I think I could probably handle, just 2. And number 1 was, I was like, okay, you need to move your body, girl. Like, you haven't, like, the couch to the bus stop doesn't count for movement that much when you are 213 pounds. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. I wasn't getting heart rates up, like nothing. So my goal was like, you just need to move a couple of days a week. And move, I mean, movement, meaning exercise. So I know I needed to do that. I didn't grow up being a chubby girl. Like, I was a gymnast at the end of the day. I had structure at one point in my life with food and with exercise and just taking care of your body, because I needed it to function, right, for certain things. So I thought, okay, movement, right? I didn't even think about like, okay, well, what do I got to do? Like, what kind of workout, what kind of trainer do I need to buy? Like, I didn't. I was just like, I need real clear. I need to move my body, and I needed to eat less. Now, it wasn't eat clean. I mean, 11 years ago, I didn't even know what that would have meant. Like, what does eat clean mean? I had no knowledge of what that looked like at the time, but I knew I needed to eat less. I knew I needed to go from 3 plates to 1. That would be a huge, drastic change. And I did it. And I told like, you're going to stop when you had 1 plate. So whatever you put on 1 plate, you know, is what you're going to eat. And then you're not going to go in for the dishes. You're not going to go into like, take the kids' plates in, because as someone who does that as an emotional eater, I don't know about you guys, but I would be like in the kitchen, like trying to like hoover more food in before anyone even saw me, as if I was out trying to out cheat them or something, you know? And then you go back and sit down and you serve another plate and you're like, oh, I'm good. And then you take another plate in and you're like, oh. And so that was me. So those are the 2 things. That was my plan. And every day I showed up for the first couple of months, moving my body, eating less, moving my body, eating less. Those were the 2 habits that I changed for 2 months. And then I had enough strength, right, to be like, oh, now I can take it to another level. I can add on, I can eat a little healthier now instead of little less. So, but it all starts with just small changes like that.
I think for me, one of the things that I found that really helps me is just to drink more water. That was something that for example, if I was trying to lose weight and it wouldn't move, it was just literally drink more water, and your body says, oh, thank goodness, you're finally giving me, you know, the hydration I need. Because a lot of times we think we're hungry, but we're really thirsty. And so, but I can really relate to the being the disposal for the stuff on my kids' plate. And then also, if you have other people in your family that might sabotage you, I used to get served on a platter instead of a plate. So the platter is like giving somebody 3 plates of food at once. And then, of course, if my generation, we were brought up that you were supposed to eat everything on your plate because of the starving people in China. That was really big back when I was a kid, about all the starving people other places. So we had to eat. And our portions also, I think, were huge. And my mother, I think, didn't know that you could eat things that weren't cooked. Because all the vegetables I ever had were cooked. And I didn't even know you could eat broccoli raw or spinach raw. You know, I just didn't know that until in my 20s. But that's really interesting. So with people, and like you said, you started out with just 2 things. And then obviously over time, you changed your habits. How important are habits, and how do you change your habits?
Yes. Well, I am the queen of habit change. I got that title from a client about 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, no. And she's like, yes. You literally helped me change like 10 habits in my life. And I've lost 30, 40 pounds. And now I can continue to lose that kind of weight. So yes, habits to me are huge. Habits and boundaries go together like, peanut butter and jelly for me, but habits really create routine, and routine creates like structure. And when we feel like we have structure and control in our life, we feel like we have that sense of balance, and so to me, like everything that I do is pretty habitual. It's kind of funny. If I sat down and like actually showed you out my calendar from 4 a.m. to 7 p.m., there is something scheduled on it. And those are typically habits besides out of the workday. But yeah, I think as far as creating habits, I don't think you need to recreate a lot of the wheels, right? Like working out, I had to get in the habit of going to the gym, right? It wasn't necessarily getting inside the gym. At the time, I just hopped on elliptical for 20 minutes, but the habit was getting myself to the gym. So if I wanted to go in the morning, I had to get enough sleep. I had to wake up early. I had to get rid of my kids so that I had no excuses, so like you just take one habit and you say, okay, like drinking water. We all probably take a few sips in the day, but how do you get in the habit of drinking more? Well, maybe the habit is I need to drink 90 ounces. So then let's break any habit down into it's a doable habit. So now I'm just going to drink 20 ounces every hour. And slowly that habit of drinking more water will come. Like I don't drink anything but water. It's kind of crazy. I've never had that issue, but so yeah, at the end of the day, a habit is, it's something that cues you, and then you do the habit and then you get some kind of reward, whether it's a good habit or a bad habit. When I was a smoker, quit smoking, I realized what I wanted. I was stressed, right? So something happened in my environment that cued me to go outside and have a cigarette. And when I think about what I got, because nobody goes and craves like, oh, I crave nicotine and tar in my lungs. Like, no, what we crave, or what I did, was I craved the relaxation, the getting away from the kids for a minute, because if I smoked, I was like, kids, go, right? Mommy doesn't want you getting that in your lungs. So I created this sense of self-care in smoking, and that's what I got out of it. So I realized when I wanted to break that habit, I'm like, well, the environment I can change, and the reward is the same, but the habit needs to change. So I changed. Instead of going outside and smoking every day, I bought an elliptical, and every time I wanted to have a cigarette, I went down and ran on the elliptical, and I hated that. And it only took me about 2 weeks to break that habit.
So the talk about habit, it is so challenging, I think, for so many people to even recognize that something is, like you said, a habit. And then of course with cigarettes, you do add the addiction to the nicotine and all of that. And then, or even having coffee, because if you don't get the caffeine, then you get a headache, and it's just this kind of a vicious cycle. So of all the things that women do in their lives, what do you think are some of the big mistakes that people make? And like you've already given us some good clues, about just change one or two things. But what are the big mistakes people seem to keep making that well, we have the best intentions and then we stop?
That, because we can't rely on motivation, you guys. If you're listening and you're like, oh, you're not always going to be motivated. I'm fit, right? I go every day, but there are days I'm not motivated to want to go. So you have to kind of fight through that. But some of it, if you're talking health related, because I get this question a lot, like some of the biggest things that I see women specifically do when it comes to losing weight or getting into shape or just getting healthier, right? It doesn't always have to be about losing weight, but they don't have that plan. Remember, I said that was like a huge key for me is I needed a plan, a sustainable plan. I'm not talking like a goal setting, like, okay, can I, whatever. It's the plan. It's knowing what you're going to do when you get to the gym. Press the easy button, right? Like it's knowing what you're going to cook next week. So create the plan. Don't just go on autopilot. You need to have a plan in order for you to change your life until it becomes a habit, so not having a sustainable plan is probably huge. So many women are like, well, I'm on this diet and it's working kind of, but now it's not working. And I'm like, that's because that diet is not a plan. You cannot go and live on shakes for the rest of your life. Like you'll be hurt, right? Like your body will just shut it down. So you've got to make a plan that's sustainable. And that's why I'm a huge like anti-dieter, embracing intuitive eating type thing. The second biggest thing that I see women do is it's black or white. It's all or nothing mentality. Is they're chasing this dream of like perfect body in such a short amount of time, instead of just allowing, themselves to grow through that process. Like learn to love working out, right? Learn to love eating clean, slow down and just learn the process, enjoy the process, because we're building a lifestyle here. Again, it's not short, quick fixes. But yeah, they go to the extreme. They're like, oh, I missed the gym today, so whatever, I guess I'll start tomorrow. And therefore, if I'm going to start tomorrow, I'm just going to say, screw the diet. And I'm just going to eat whatever I want today, because today's going to be my cheat day now. Like, it's so extreme. And I'm like, just hit the reset, girlfriend, and go back to being small. Water today. Is that your goal? Like just moving your body for 5 minutes today is your goal. Like small things. They do not need to be extreme. One of my favorite quotes is, you can't swing, or you can swing a large door with a small hinge, right? Like it doesn't take a lot to get that momentum going.
Well, I know that for me, I mean, I've been following you now, I think for about a year and a half. And so, I watch your videos, I watch your posts, and I listen to your advice. And you live, I think, in Nebraska. I live in Florida. So what I did recently, and I'm still doing it after a month, so yay, is that I joined a local 24-hour gym. And the reason I chose that one was because we're still in COVID, but they had a really good air filtration system, or so they say, and they're open 24 hours. So in my mind, I'm going, okay, that means that no matter if it's a holiday at night or 365 days a year, if I need to go there, I can, even though I might not be going there every single day. And then I did connect with a personal trainer so that I could learn how to do the exercises so that I don't hurt myself. Because my history has been my best intentions, and then I end up trying to do it too fast, and I end up hurting myself, and then all of that progress goes down the drain because I don't go, because obviously I'm injured, and I able to do that. So thank you for that. But again, what I finally ended up with is I committed to 3 days a week at a certain time, because that way I know on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 9:15 I have a standing appointment, and I just tell people, I'm sorry, I can't be available until after 10:30 on those days. And for me, that's huge because I wasn't somebody that was a big habit type person in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that. When you work with people, I know you can work with people all over the world. So what does that look like, and what are you working with them on?
Yeah. So, well, my 10-week transformational program, it literally is mind, body, spirit, right? So the first week we work on your mindset. Because so many women believe that they're not worthy enough to take care of themselves, and we don't realize it, or they self-sabotage. So we always work on mindset throughout the whole program, but right off the bat, we figure out why they want to change, right? I think we have to figure that out. But then over the next 9 weeks, we go into nutrition. Nutrition is before exercise, because I believe that nutrition is, you can't outwork a bad diet. So I like to, I give them nutritional advice, right? We give them macros if that's what they want. We give them meal plans, but more importantly is we create the lifestyle of eating cleaner and what that looks like. And so I teach them how to become intuitive eaters. So they ditch the diet lifestyle and they go for more an intuitive eating, which allows us to have the cheeseburgers and the tacos and whatever we want. We don't feel restricted. And when we don't feel restricted, we'll be honest, we don't feel like we need it all the time. So if I know I can have tacos on Tuesday, I don't feel like I have to shove them in like sneakily anywhere else. Like I'm getting my tacos on Tuesday. So we talk nutrition. I teach these women, basic nutritional stuff. And I always say, press the easy button, because every woman I work with, if they're like me, which is I do it the same, is I love to overcomplicate everything. But I've got a client who was not taught to cook, right? So we're doing cooking lessons in her kitchen via streaming, where she buys the stuff that I've given her meal plans for the week, like her weekly meal plans, and I help her food prep in the kitchen because she has no idea how to do that. So that's the extreme that, that I go to help my clients with the nutritional side, from cooking lessons to, nope, I just need to learn how to food prep or intuitive eating. Then I teach them the exercise. They go into exercise, which is huge. Then it's the next one for me. So as a personal trainer, yes, I can train you in the gym, but it's more important for me to teach you how to train yourself in a gym, because I want sustainability. Remember, I want lifestyle change. I don't want you to have to depend on hiring a trainer forever. Trainers are going to hate me for saying that, but I'm sorry. Like at the end of the day, yeah, a lot of women go to the gym with a trainer, my old clients, included. They have no idea what they're doing. I'm just teaching them proper form, making sure they're not going to injure themselves. I am teaching them along the way, but most trainers don't give you the plan. And I give the clients the plan, and then I turn it around and I make them give me the plan after they've been doing it for a couple of weeks that I've been giving them. So now they're giving me a plan, and then I get to tweak it, and then I give it back. So they're learning how to create their own workout plan every single week. And they're putting all of that into their schedule. And I won't go through every module, or the curriculum, but we talk about stress, because I'm like, cool, you can be working out and you can be eating clean, but if you are a chronic stressor and you stress out about everything and you have lots of anxiety, and you're on all these kinds of medications just to lower your stress levels, that weight sticks to our bodies like nobody's business. I mean, stress and cortisol is like fat, like we're never going to get rid of it. So we have to talk stress. We have to talk stress management, meditation, learning to bring yourself back off the ledge when you feel like life's overwhelming. So we go into self-care, and then we talk habit change and work-life balance strategies. We talk gut health, because our gut is directly impacted, like our mood, our sleeping, everything is, impacted to me with our gut. So we talk a lot of gut health and digestion. So it truly is, women come to me, Tammy, because they want to lose 10, 15, 30, 40 pounds, whatever. I mean, I have clients who want to lose 70, 80 to 100. But at the end of the day, they leave the program feeling confident, feeling unstoppable, like their relationships have improved. I mean, imagine yourself feeling the best you've ever felt in your body. Your confidence is so high, you're probably having more sex with your partner, your connections, your energy is higher, like you are vibing at a whole new level. And then you're making bigger decisions for yourself, healthier decisions, more empowering, decisions that serve you. So yeah, they come for like a little problem, like weight's easy to lose and melt, right? That's easy. It's the inner transformation. It's the self-worth. It's the confidence. That's what they get. And they're like, oh my gosh. And that is something you can't put the price tag on. Like watching someone just like blow up in such a good way. You're like, oh my gosh.
Well, I was just, as you were talking, I was just going, so working with you not only is good for you as an individual person, it's also good for business.
Yes. Yes.
That's exactly the confidence that you need in order to be successful in business, because no matter, again, it's not always about size or anything, but it's like you said, it's that inner confidence that other people pick up on when you're in business. And if you don't have that, whatever the glow of confidence, then it isn't it's not attractive to people because you're not magnetic in that way. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to do that?
The best way is going to my website. It's 365dailyhustle.com. There's a free training video all on about the 3 or 4 strategies that you need to do right now to lose weight. So take advantage of my free training video right there. But from that website, you can read my full story, right? You can read about the different programs that I offer. You can read about, like my podcast, my books, all of these. That's where you can buy these books of mine. But you can also schedule that clarity call. And that is a 15-minute call that is done over the phone. There's no obligation. Honestly, I want to see if I'm a good fit for you and you're a good fit for me, because I don't work with every woman out there. Like I work with driven females who need to make that change today so that they can keep up with their busy lives. So I want to make sure that we're a good fit. I want to make sure that my program is going to be, giving you what you need. And if not, I'll send you to somebody else who I know who can help you. But it's a free 15-minute clarity call just to get a real clear plan on what you need to do when it comes to your health. But yeah, that's where you can find every single thing, 365dailyhustle.com. I, of course, am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, anywhere else, but the best resource is the website.
365dailyhustle.com. And definitely follow Karissa, because like I said, I've been following her, and her tips on video are really good and they're always actionable, which I don't know about you, but I love things that I can actually listen to, spend 5 minutes or whatever, less than 5 minutes, and then take action. And I honestly can say that I took action. And I told you, about the gym. I even ordered the meal prep and started to work on meal prep. I started to use some foods that maybe I wasn't using before, like avocados. Little things like I said, adding more water, and I'm committed to my 3 days a week of exercise. And of course, my plan is that would increase over time. But I mean, my body definitely, I can tell that it's working because my pain levels are down.
Yeah.
And the swelling, like in my arms and my joints. So again, it's that result started to happen, not like it didn't take a month. It literally the pain level started to go down like within the first week. So it really does help you to go, oh, I'm going to keep doing this, because when you literally can say, oh, my pain is going way down. You were maybe in 8, and now you're down to a 3. You're like, ooh, that's a huge difference. So I really appreciate that. And again, I can honestly say that I've used your tips, and it really does make a huge difference. And when you're not in pain, your confidence level does go up too. So I think that's really cool. Before I let you go, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I guess a final thought, if anyone's listening, kind of contemplating any specific decision or a big decision, I just want to encourage you to follow your heart. Bossing up takes courageous decisions. They don't have to be huge. They just have to be small. But follow your heart. If you know you want to do something, just quit worrying about what people think and just do it. Just try it. I promise you won't die, whether it's a new workout or a new meal, or maybe it's your very first sales call, right? Just try it. Just follow your heart and do it.
That's really good advice. So everyone, we have been speaking with Karissa Adkins, and she is a health and fitness coach, 365dailyhustle.com. And this has been Expert Profiles, Conversations with Influencers and Innovators. And I am Dr. Reverend Tammy Patzer, and you should go have a wonderful